Written 10 years after Married Alive, Leather Wings by Marilyn Duckworth is a very different kind of story. Wallace, the Rawleys man, comes into the lives of Esther and her young granddaughter. Prepare to be entertained and challenged. The crash wakes Jania. The noise of a van smashing into the rear of a tall removal truck. She sits up quickly, blinking it out of her eyes, wiping away the dream. She has had this dream before. She is used to this dream. It is morning. She is on her own under the low roof of the mezzanine studio on the squeaky, rustling mattress, which has gone into interesting humps and hollows. The eiderdown smells funny. She can nearly taste it. When she tests her front tooth, it waggles nicely. She must show Wallace. Was the crash real? Has Wallace stumbled and sent the cathedral flying into the school, or what? He's a clumsy man. Worried, she pads barefoot to the stairs, which are really a sort of ladder, and looks over. Wallace is lying there below her. At least he isn't lying on the city buildings, although she thinks she can see something green poking out from under his leg. It looks like the toy green truck with the red cross on it, the doll's ambulance. He doesn't get up when she calls to him, which is surprising. "Wallace!" She backs down the stair ladder very carefully, as he has taught her to do. If he was as careful himself. "I fell." He sounds funny. He pulls a bit of a face. That's all right. He's smiling. "I know. I heard you. Can't you get up?" "In a minute." She reaches in and tugs the little green truck from under him. The red cross is a bit smudged. He looks up at the offending vehicle. "Is that what it was? I trod on it." "It's all right," she assures him. "The wheels are still on." "Mine aren't," says Wallace, and he makes a creaky laughing sound as if his voice hurts. "Oh, I think I've done something to my back, my neck." Jania sits on her heels and wonders. He is looking with dull eyes into her knees, noting without excitement a red graze the size of a 20-cent piece where she must have fallen recently. Two clumsy people. She considers. "Perhaps you've broken somewhere. Where's your leg?" "Under here." "That's all right then. It hasn't come off." Wallace begins to snort with laughter and then to groan. "Oh." "We might need a real ambulance." "Yes." Then he corrects this. "No, I'll just lie here for a bit. Are you all right?" "My tooth's ready to come out." She wiggles it. "You can pull it out when we've had breakfast." He looks ill. You need a dentist to pull teeth." "No, you don't. Esther pulled my bottom once." "I can't," Wallace says. He stutters. "And you'll have to find your own breakfast." "Of course. You have a nice rest." Wallace tries to move, but something happens again in his neck, a sharp, belting pain, as if someone is beheading him with a blunt axe. He's always had a funny back, at least that's what his mother had claimed, but it had never hurt. He held one shoulder higher, she used to complain, usually when they were out in public together, walking or travelling down the aisle of a bus. Suddenly she would hiss at him, as if he'd trodden on her foot or something equally painful. "Walk properly! For God's sake, can't you walk like a human being? There must be something wrong with your spine. Why do you put your feet like that? Hold your head up, toes out. Walk like you know you're somebody." He was somebody, but who exactly? She never went on to tell him who he was. Perhaps he won't walk again, ever. Jania is poking a chocolate sultana pasty at his mouth. "What? Oh, no, thank you. Can you bring me a drink of water? That's a good girl. Just water. You can eat the biscuits." I was afraid she'd fall down the stairs and hurt herself. I should have known I was the clumsy one. But it was the truck, not my clumsiness. Her truck. I didn't want to hurt her, but instead of that, she's hurt me. She didn't mean to. It hurts like hell. I'm bleeding, too. That's my head. She hasn't seen it yet. I don't want to frighten her. I shouldn't have drunk that sherry. Can she smell it on me? Does she know about the devil drink? The devil drink for the devil in me. How can I look after her now? I don't know what to do. I think I'm still a bit drunk. I'll have to sleep for a bit. Then I'll know how bad it is. When Wallace wakes and opens his eyes cautiously, she has moved some of her doll's city closer. He is looking into a wobbly house made from blue egg cartons. "Hello."
"I thought you'd be lonely," she said. "Are you going to wake up now?"
"I'm awake. Don't think I can move yet. Jania, can you take my watch off so I can look at the time?" It is difficult to use more than one hand without propping himself on an elbow, and this seems nearly impossible. She struggles with the catch and wrestles the watch from his wrist.
"I can tell time."
She holds the watch upside down. It has Roman numerals.
"No, you'd better."
"I've been here hours. You're a very good girl." She grins. Then,
"That's blood."
She has seen the sticky red stuff on his forehead when he raised his head. She puts a finger out and runs it in the thick wetness, holding it up to the light. It isn't very easy to see in here with the window bars crisscrossing the daylight. "Don't do that," cries Wallace, making her jump. "It's dirty."
"What? It's blood."
She is puzzled. What is Wallace thinking of? It is Jania's blood that might be dirty, dangerous, not his own. He has nice, clean, dirty old man's blood. "Go and wash your hands," he says in a tired voice.
"All right, I'll bring the cloth and wash you, shall I?"
"Oh," he shuts his eyes. "Yes, if you want to. It doesn't hurt." Everything hurts. Perhaps that's what we should do. Mingle our blood, like in, what was it, some kid's book? To swear eternal friendship. The worst thing that can happen if you share HIV blood is that you die. The worst thing? The best thing. Best and worst fears so nearly touching. I deserve to die. It might be quite nice, in fact, to die. Oh, yes, if I could just do it now. But wake up. Have to think of Jania. What will happen if I lie here and die? It's not an option. Ouch! A rough, cold cloth is licking at his head like a big tongue. She is back with a grey, dripping towel. "Wring it out a bit," he commands weakly. "You're wetting me."
"Sorry."
The next time he begins to close his eyes, she shakes him, pummeling at him as if he were her velvet cushion. He makes an effort. "What?"
"Don't go away."
"I can't go away. Not going anywhere."
"I was in an accident once. Look."
She bares her thigh and waits proudly while his eyes stroke over the scar, puckering her apricot flesh. He dreams he takes a bite out of her, groans and shuts his eyes until she pushes at him again.
Don't sleep."
"Ouch!"
"Are you going to die?"
She waits for him to smile, but he doesn't. He rolls his head a little and looks up at her.
"Are you?"
Louder, frightened. "No, of course not. I've just hurt myself a bit. I'll mend."
"My mother died."
She sounds surprised, as if she has come across this news for the first time.
"Mummy died. People just stop. That's dying."
"I know."
"That's because it was on the freeway, with all the traffic. That's why she died. Freeway traffic is murder."
"Murder, is it?" He is making an effort to keep up with her, but what preoccupies him now is the possibility he might be sick. He can't be sick. Oh, God, not sick.
"That's what Daddy says."
He is concentrating on banishing the nausea. At last, he says, "Go away, darling. I have to put my head down a bit longer."
"It's down."
He has fainted. Jania doesn't poke at him again. She hovers for a bit, then gives up and goes to look for Joey. Joey hasn't been fed. It doesn't matter too much. There seems to be an awful lot of seed scattered on the floor of his cage and in his little pie dish. When she unlatches the door, he doesn't fly out. He just sits with hooded eyes, watching her. She sighs.
You want some water too, don't you?
She takes the second little tin dish to the tiny sink, the smallest sink she has ever seen, and drips water into it.
I might be a nurse, she confides to the budgie, when I grow up.
The city is growing about him. A flat line of books from the wizard's shelves is a colourful street leading away from his shoulder. Father Christmas is standing on this street, the erstwhile weatherman clothed in shiny red paper from a chocolate fudge bar. The little wooden cuckoo is balanced now in a corner of metal framing, which used to be the play area swings, except the swings were always missing.
He's a partridge now,
Jania is explaining.
For Christmas, a partridge in a pear tree.
It takes Wallace some time to sort out what she is saying. His ears tend now to scramble messages, and it takes a bit of time to decode them and understand. The main thing is that he hasn't been sick. A partridge, he repeats.
That's right.
I had a canary once, he tells her. Well, it was his cousin's canary, but he can leave the cousin out because words are so hard to find in his head. They seem to be rationed. I killed it.
I don't believe you.
She rocks with horror. I didn't mean to. Died of cold. I didn't know it had to be warm.
Well then.
The horror is receding.
An accident. Accidents will happen. I expect you a little.
Quite little.
Well then.
But she is frowning.
Joey might be sick. He won't come out. Is he cold?
Oh dear. A shadow wings across his face, a vulture flying low in the room. He shuts his eyes, then opens them again quickly before Jania can abandon him or time pass. Every time he goes to sleep, hours leak away from him. He rolls his hip awkwardly, trying to reach into the rucked-up pocket of his trousers. His leg hasn't come off, but part of it doesn't seem to belong to him any more. Is he paralyzed? He rolls again, experimenting, and the pain shoots him in the back. Bang! He pants. The door key to the shop will be in his pocket, and he has to give this key to Jania. He was dreaming about it a moment ago before he woke up. There, is it the right one? What did he do with his mother's key? Must have left it somewhere in the flat. Never mind, he won't need that key again.
It's a key.
I want you to unlock the door.
Yes. Shall I get the doctor? Or Mrs. Wallace?
No, I don't want the doctor. I've got my own things in my briefcase. You know my case. Fetch it, please. Then I want you to go. Fly away, ladybird. This house is on fire. I want you to go round the corner to the shop, any shop. Tell them your name and Esther's name.
And your name. I'll bring the ambulance.
No, not my name. You'll get me in trouble. Don't bring anyone. Just tell them your name. Just that. I can't look after you. I'm sorry. She frowns.
What have you done? Is it the money? I found the money on the sofa.
Wallace groans and puts a hand up over his mouth.
Are you going to sick up?
Please, take the key. Jania holds the key, which is on a piece of perspex with a fern leaf trapped in it. She whisks it thoughtfully from side to side.
I stole something once. Not money. Money's awful. They could put you in prison for money. It's all right. I won't tell. I'll get your ointment bag.
Yes, please. Then go. I want to see you unlock the door. It's a bit stiff.
Don't you like me now?
Yes, of course I do like you, of course. A lot. But you need...
It's all right,
Jania says, putting the key down on the floor.
You've forgotten. Daddy's coming. I'll wait for Daddy. I'll look after you. I might be a nurse when I grow up.
A tear, a real tear, seems to be moving slowly on Wallace's greasy cheek. It pops off his cheek like a tiny balloon, and another one has inflated out of his other eye onto the other cheek. Jania leans in and pats his bristly face with a mixture of curiosity and concern. He is growing a beard. Pat, pat, she grows.
What's the matter?
I'm tired. I just feel tired. It's all right.
Well, I'm not going. You can go to sleep if you're tired. I'm going to wait here with you until they come. Night-night.
Esther wakes to find Rex kneeing her rhythmically in the back. It is not quite morning. The swirling patterns on the bedroom curtains are not properly defined by daylight, and yet there is enough morning in the room to show the time on the digital clock. 5:14. There he goes again, putting his knee viciously into her flesh. What are you doing? I don't know. Waking you up. I know that, but why? He buries his unshaven chin in her shoulder and bites her, not too hard, but hard enough, in her neck. What is this? Just reminding you, that's all. Reminding me of what? Me. You have a husband here in bed with you, old Rex, remember? We have been introduced, Esther says. She begins to sit up in bed, yawning, but he bats her down again with the back of his wrist. Ouch! I'm so angry I want to kill you, okay? She looks at him askance. No, it's not okay, actually. Oh, I'm not going to do it. I just want you to know how I feel. Rex. She reaches out her hand and tries to touch him in the old way. I think I do know. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. You're not sorry. Don't give me that bullshit. You wish you hadn't told me. Why did you tell me? Did it make you feel better? Was that it? It was over. I wanted it over. They lie for a moment thinking about this on their backs, twin effigies on a tomb. After a while, Rex says hopefully, Is that true? Yes, of course it is. Prove it. He rolls towards her, presenting his flesh, as if for a new experimental surgical technique. Operate on me. He is asking to be transplanted from middle age and adulterous wives. Then he drops his head back in her neck and begins to sob, heaving. She strokes him. She is starting to remember who he is, the old tenderness. How could she have done this to Rex, reduced him to this quaking bag of misery, this heart-rending, heart-rent Steven Spielberg creature, sobbing as if he will expire and become an airless toy? She has done this. Could she undo it? Then the phone goes. Something has happened at last. The body of the old lady, Wallace's dotty mother, has been discovered by an evening milk vendor who noticed her front door swinging open. There are no suspicious circumstances. She is simply dead of hypothermia and/or influenza. However, a routine check of the premises has produced some interesting evidence. We think Mr. Wells might have been here recently. Also, we've discovered there's another property, a flat that belonged to Mr. Wells Sr. So why haven't you got him? She flexes her bare toes in the carpet pile and bites one finger. She can feel her heart turning over, racing like an engine. We're going in this morning. You can't rush these things. We'll consult with a psychologist and work out the best way to approach him. We don't want him to feel threatened. He could panic. It only takes one slip. What do you mean? A slip of the tongue, a slip of the knife. Supposing the Rawleys man has a death wish. Then she hears herself sounding businesslike, bossy, herself again. I'll get on a plane. Where do I come to? We've been trying to locate Mr. Barton. He isn't answering his phone. You don't... I'll contact him. She can't wait to ring off and make her arrangements to fly north. Do you actually know that Jania is with Mr. Wells? No, we don't. I'm sorry, but we have to assume she is. Rex is standing in his mauve bare feet, rounding his eyes at her. Well? They think they've found them. Him, anyway. He's not down south at all. I have to ring the airport. I'm going up there. To Auckland? He narrows his eyes at her. You heard? Yes, that's where he is. They're fairly sure. He's been at his mother's place. They found her dead. No, don't worry, he didn't do it. But they know where he is, or think they do, and they're... What are you looking at me like that for? She has thrown her nightgown off and is wrenching a skirt from its wardrobe hanger. Don't you want me to come? Do you want to? Rex, I don't think you should travel. I thought you'd say that. Anyway, Martin will want to. We can't all go. So I sit here and wait for the phone to ring, is that it? But she isn't listening to him. I haven't rung the airport. I'll do that now. When she has finished telephoning, she draws back the bedroom curtains and notices the woman at 44 has a synthetic silver-needled Christmas tree glittering in the window and a holly wreath on the door knocker. The same fading wreath goes up year after year. Esther had planned to take Jania to choose a fir branch from those on sale at the local hall, a real tree, nothing synthetic. Perhaps it will still happen, although the best branches will have been picked over and only the straggly, crooked stuff left. Home for Christmas. She dares to be hopeful, but what sort of Christmas? Martin is still not answering his phone. What are he and his Kelly lover up to, with the phone unplugged? Or... At last she leaves a message with the receptionist, who says gently, "Yes, we have that message already, actually. I've slipped a note under the door." She has booked one seat on the plane. Martin will have to make his own arrangements. Just time now for a slice of toast. Rex is sitting at the kitchen table, looking apprehensive. "Wish me luck," she says, gulping instant coffee. Then feels foolish. They all need luck, not Esther alone. This isn't her solo ordeal. "Martin might call, and I'll ring as soon as I know anything. All right? Sit by the telephone." "I intend to." He looks her over, appraising what she is wearing, how she looks, as if he might not see her again. "You won't phone him, will you?" "Who?" "Donald's in Auckland, isn't he?" "Oh, what?" She is appalled. "I'm going for Jania, not for a dirty weekend. Jesus Christ!" "You don't have to swear. I'm sorry. I just thought of it." "Idiot." She kisses him in his thin, wiry hair, and her lips tingle. "Take it easy, Rex. Trust me." Because she means it, because this time it is true, it sounds to her unconvincing. She has lied with more conviction in the past. She was a good liar. Now she will have to practice telling the truth. On the plane, she sits suspended in threshing currents of air, suspended in disbelief. Is this really her life? Is she really flying to confront a madman who has her granddaughter at knife point? Her grandchild, who is anyway sentenced to death by a sneaky modern retrovirus? This can't be true. If it's true, her fellow passengers might have equally outrageous secrets. On previous journeys, she has studied her fellow travellers to divine their romantic secrets and possibilities, fantasizing exotic origins and Mills and Boone passions. It hadn't occurred to her to imagine real and horrid lives for them. Today she stares at them wonderingly, leaving her airline snack box unbroached. The awful thing is that at the back of her rampant fear, her concern for Jania, there is a place where she is nearly enjoying herself. A horrid excitement nibbles in her abdomen while she waits for the performance to begin.